In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
That right there was the moment that Donald Trump lost this debate. Not for nothing, but when you find yourself on stage screaming, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of people that live there, you're losing. Even in today's unconventional political environment, the guy screaming about migrants eating pets is not delivering a winning debate performance. It's also worth noting, as moderator David Muir noted, that there is no evidence that any migrants are eating pets. It is a conspiracy theory intended solely to allow Republicans to demonize black and brown people to confer some political benefit onto themselves. But Donald Trump and Republicans don't care who gets vilified or discriminated against or even hurt, so long as they benefit politically from it. But let's be clear, what they're saying is a lie, and it's not one that helped Donald Trump on that stage. But while that might be the most viral moment of the evening, here's another.
Actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation.
I've said from the very beginning, a signal that Kamala Harris will have won this debate will be the extent to which she's able to successfully bait Donald Trump. I know that she would try, and he clearly knew that it was coming, but the ease with which she was able to bait him like a 4-year-old with a cookie was shocking. She merely had to mention crowd size, and the guy lost his mind. He melted down, he got defensive, he started yelling, he threw out superlatives and absolutes, and any semblance of rehearsed discipline went right out the window. And it's not just that Donald Trump made a fool of himself, even though that's clearly bad enough unto itself. She also exposed the reality that her opponent is easy to manipulate. And if she can do it in front of the entire nation on topic after topic with such ease, then the real message here is how easy it is for the world's autocrats and dictators to do the same to Donald Trump in private. He loves to frame himself as some master tactician, but he exposed himself as a clown. Now you might understand why Russia and China and Erdogan and the rest of the world's authoritarians want Donald Trump back in office. And then, of course, there was this moment on abortion.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban.
Your running mate, J.D. Vance, has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. In all fairness, J.D. And I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't.
Donald Trump was so unhinged that even the moderators had to jump in and clarify that the nonsense he was spewing about late-term abortions and post-birth abortions was absolute BS. And while that nonsense might work at his rallies where his supporters blindly lap up every word he says, back in the world of reality, it makes him look like a fool, a purveyor of disinformation, and an extremist. Or how about this moment that Donald Trump was so quick to make a few weeks back?
Mr. President, you recently said of Vice President Harris, quote, "I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black." I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something, I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm
I
asking.
don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her.
And yet now, when actually faced with Kamala Harris on that stage, suddenly it's crickets from Donald Trump. Suddenly he's not so quick to deny her biraciality. Suddenly he looks small and deflated and scared to actually say to her face what he was so willing to say when she wasn't up there on that stage. Tough talk when he's alone, and yet refuses to defend his own position when Kamala's right in front of him. But sure, Trump's the strong man. Got it. There was also this moment that likely lost the debate for Trump as far as young people were concerned.
The question to you both tonight is, what would you do to fight climate change? And Vice President Harris, we'll start with you. 1 minute for you each.
Well, the former president had said that climate change is a hoax. The young people of America care deeply about this issue. And I am proud that as vice president over the last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion.
Kamala Harris taking seriously the issue of climate change, all the while Trump descending into a temper tantrum about Hunter and Joe Biden, which would be embarrassing enough unto itself, but more embarrassing given the fact that Kamala already had to remind Donald Trump once that he's not debating Joe Biden, he's not running against Joe Biden, he's running against her.
First of all, it's important to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me.
So look, I try to give a measured analysis of these debates, I try to accept where both sides fall short and where they excel. This was an absolute bloodbath for Donald Trump. Everything that could have gone wrong for him did. He was unhinged, he was angry, he offered zero policy, he was easily manipulated. One might even say that Donald Trump is too emotional to be president. But no one could watch that performance he gave and think that Donald Trump succeeded at turning a single undecided voter into a Trump voter. Kamala, on the other hand, was collected, she was clear-eyed, she was articulate, and she was in control. Put another way, she looked like the next president of the United States.